And it's now 19 minutes past the hour. Great to have you with us, everyone. I'm sorry, 33 minutes past the hour. Great to have you here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network's Market Fresh Hour. I'm your host, Randall White. And I should let you know that this portion of Eat, Drink, Explore's Market Fresh Hour is brought to you by Sidecar Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo. It's on Broad between Higuera and Marsh Streets. And if you're considering going out to brunch on Sunday or on a Thursday night farmers market, it's right there. And so great place to spend your evening or your daytime. Put Sidecar at the top of your list with its constantly changing seasonal menu. They just released a brand new menu. Some favorites that get carried over, of course, include their roasted Brussels sprouts and a wide array of vegan and vegetarian dishes, plus plenty of meat for the omnivores out there. Sidecar Restaurant in downtown SLO. Find them online at sidecarslo.com. All right, did you know that here in the United States, California and a portion of the Southwest represent 100% of the U.S. commercial pistachio production? California produces 98% of that total. So the U.S. is number one in global commercial production. And judging by these numbers, I would say that California looks like it would be number one as well. Pistachios are amazing. They have nutritional pluses that just range the gamut, and we'll find out more about those right now by welcoming Becci Twombley. She is Director of Sports Nutrition at USC there in the Los Angeles area, University of Southern California. And she is joining us to talk a little bit about why pistachios are a great addition to your diet, as well as supporting your neighboring farmers. Hey, Becci.
Hi, Randall. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, we get different press releases that come in from time to time to support, this produce or that produce or what have you. And when I started reading over the pistachios, I was like, we have to have these people on because, just from top to bottom, this is a great choice when you're at the store.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, for working it into your diet. Let's start with the thing that makes it a superfood that everyone talks about all the time. It has some pretty strong antioxidant power. Pistachios have some pretty strong antioxidant power, do they not?
They sure do. They're actually really high in a nutrient that's kind of emerging. Science has taught us about a nutrient called zeaxanthin, and it's a fun word to say. But
zeaxanthin?
Zeaxanthin.
Okay.
And it acts to protect our eyes. So it's a carotenoid, so it's similar to carrots, kind of found in that same family. But it really helps with our eye health, especially with sun damage. So a lot of time, when you're not wearing sunglasses or if you have macular degeneration in your family, then that's a really good nut to latch onto.
Yeah, and my grandmother had macular degeneration, and so I know that genetically it's a possibility for me as well. So another excuse to have a handful of pistachios.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They're also really great for blood flow. They dilate the blood vessel. They open it up so that you can really irrigate out your cells and make sure that your cells are getting all the nutrients that they need.
Looks like they have. Go ahead.
But it's really helpful for heart health, and then also for just getting your blood flow going, helping with blood pressure and heart disease.
So people know that blueberries are really good for them. Blackberries, garlic, and pomegranates are at the top of the list right now. But pistachios have more antioxidant power than all of those.
Right. If you measure it out per 100 grams, and usually when I tell people first to look at the serving size before they decide whether a food is healthy for them or not, because it really does come down to how much of it would you have to eat in order to get the health benefit. And 1 ounce of pistachios actually packs in a great amount of nutrition, and so it's a very nutrient-dense food. It has 3 grams of fiber in that 1 ounce, which is similar to half a cup of cooked broccoli.
Mm.
So it's a really high fiber food.
Yeah.
It has 6 grams of protein, which, if you look at the antioxidant capacity of other foods, there's very little protein in those foods. So when you eat a pistachio, you're getting the protein plus all of the antioxidants.
Right.
And then it also has a lot of the electrolytes that our bodies need to keep our fluid balance good, to keep our blood pressure steady.
Yeah, as much potassium as half of a large banana. My dad needs to grab a banana from time to time when he gets cramps in his legs and such. He could just keep a bowl of pistachios next to the recliner.
Sure. Yep.
So 100 grams, that's about 3.5 ounces. I did the math ahead of time just to make sure.
Right. So if you take, an ounce is 49 nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's about 150 nuts. And I don't know if you've eaten pistachios when they're shelled or
they're small,
or if you have to take them out of the shell. But that's certainly not a lot to eat.
No, and you can get the shelled ones now really easily. I buy the palm version at Costco. I think a big bag of them is like $9 or something, and lasts quite a long time. And you can throw them into salads. They're really versatile.
They are really versatile. I actually put them in smoothies for the athletes here at USC. Sometimes we'll put them in if we need to add some calories to a smoothie or add some nutrient density. We'll throw them in with a banana and some avocado and pistachios, and then add some soy milk and some ice to that and whip it up. I got that recipe from a great chef in New Orleans, Tori McPhail.
Uh-huh.
And so he helped us out with that. And when he first told me, I said, "Are you kidding?" And then when we tried it, all the athletes actually enjoy it.
Yeah. Becci, we used to run Screaming from any high-fat foods, and it's funny that you talk about this nutritional drink that you give to the athletes, and it's got avocado high in fat, it's got, the pistachios and such. We've really come such a long way when it comes to fats. We now realize that they're very essential to us, and there are different kinds of fats, and the animal or the plant-based ones seem to be pretty good for us.
Correct. Yes, and actually, the interesting thing is that if you use foods for the purpose that they're intended, if you know what's in the food, then you can use it kind of as a tool in your arsenal.
Oh.
So, when you're looking for a food that's going to keep you satisfied for a long time, that's going to provide good energy and give you, that alert feeling and that feeling of satisfaction, you do want to look for foods that are higher in the unsaturated fats. So that would be avocado or nuts or seeds and that sort of thing. So, with Halloween right here, the pumpkin seeds are also fun to throw in a trail mix. If you use that, we like to use trail mix a lot with pistachios and dried cherries, and right now we're throwing the pumpkin seeds in for a little Halloween fall flair.
Right.
And some cashews and peanuts and that sort of thing.
I like to use pumpkin seeds. I put them in salads. They just go over really well. Or toast them up. That's how my parents used to always make them around Halloween time. We'd scoop out the pumpkin, and then my mom would separate out the seeds and throw a little olive oil on them and sea salt and put them in the oven and toast them up. They're good that way.
They are delicious. Yeah, you've got a great mom. That's a lot of work to get those all separated.
You're right. I do. I have a terrific mom. So pistachios. Now I realize that you're the director of sports nutrition, so I might be throwing a question your way that you just don't know. But they used to be pink. Like this bright pink.
Right.
They were dyed. Do you know the deal behind that?
Well, I have asked that question several times, and they were actually dyed. And those are I'm not positive on this, but I believe I'm correct in that those are the nuts that were grown in the Middle East.
Okay.
But that the California-grown pistachios and the American pistachio growers don't dye their nuts.
So it was a way to distinguish where they came from.
I suppose so, and I don't know if they were trying to. I don't know what the reason was that they did that. It could be a cosmetic reason that there were divots or or imperfections in the product, so they needed to cover that. But, in the United States, we don't need to do that.
No, they're green, so you can find them fresh and green. And in some cases here in California, you can find them at your local farmer's market if you live in some of the hotter, drier areas of the surrounding San Joaquin Valley. That's where they're mainly grown, I believe, right? The southern San Joaquin Valley
Yes,
into the
that's
desert regions?
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the neat thing is that the trees actually take a long time before they start to produce fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But once they do start to produce fruit, they're a very sustainable product and can last a long time.
Yeah, they're a lot different than other nuts, I understand, that they split open before they are as they're getting ripe, so they can't drop to the ground like other nut producers will knock all of them to the ground and then collect them that way.
Correct. Yeah, they shake the tree,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a net that catches all of the nuts, so that they never touch the ground. They need very, very little processing. They're pretty much just ready to go. They'll dry roast them or flavor them in some cases, but otherwise they need very little processing.
That's fantastic. Does the characteristic of the pistachio change much if it's cooked in something? Do they cook well?
They do. They're ground really well,
Mm-hmm.
and then they make great marinades or great spice rubs. So you can make a pesto instead of using pine nuts, using pistachios, and it just makes it so flavorful.
I had a salmon that was rolled in crushed pistachios one time.
Yes.
A piece of salmon.
I love that, and it gives such a good crusting on it. You don't need to add any extra fat to it.
Right.
It sticks to the product really well, and you get that really good texture of just that nice crisp outside with a good tender meat inside.
Well, Becci Twombley, Director of Sports Nutrition at USC there. You have a fun job, I think.
I do. I have a great job.
And people can get more information by going to AmericanPistachio.com. And pistachio is one of those things. In fact, looking at our online video simulcast right now, I think I may have misspelled it. But I can tell you it's PISTA1CHIO. AmericanPistachio.org. Becci, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure, Randall. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone, stick around. Lots more to come here on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network's Market Fresh Hour. I'm your host, Randall White. Our Farmers Market segment is up next.